So let's jump into chapter 4.2 and take a look at the types of minerals. So by the end of this section, you should be able to know what the two elements are that make up a large part of Earth's crust. You should be able to explain the different types of mineral groups. You should know the difference between a gem and an ore, and then also understand the importance and dangers of mining. So if we take a look, oxygen and silicon are the two most abundant elements in Earth's crust. So these minerals, when they combine together, or when both of them are within that mineral, it's called a silicate. So silicates is our first mineral group, and it's the most common group. And when you see this, you have a tetrahedron, which just means that there are four sides, like a four-sided triangle. And it's shaped in a pyramid, and this is really the basis that most of our minerals are formed on. But carbonates is our second group besides the silicates. And the carbonates, you have three oxygen atoms bonding with a carbon. So they would have the label CO3, and these usually bond with metallic elements. So for example, calcite and dolomite are two examples of carbonates. Then you have oxides, and oxide is when you have a combination of an oxygen and a metal. So for example, you would have hematite and magnetite, and a lot of times these are magnetic. Other groups would include sulfides, like pyrite, you have sulfates, halides, and then also some elements aren't in a group, like silver, copper, and gold. So one thing that I really want you guys to realize from this is that these minerals are everywhere, literally everywhere. They make up everything. They make up our cars, our computers, your iPhone, TVs, sports equipment, medicine, you name it. These minerals are all around us, and we're going to do an activity that will allow us to dive even further into this to explore where these minerals are in our daily lives. So we have an ore, and an ore is a mineral that contains valuable elements, and these elements can be mined for profit. If the element is no longer deemed valuable, though, then the mineral is no longer an ore, so it changes based on the value of those elements. And again, that key there is that it's the valuable elements inside a mineral. In order to extract this ore, we dig mines. So we have these machines that will either dig deep underground into shaft mines, or you'll have mines closer to the surface where you can have either a strip mine or open pit mine, and that's where they're digging through the top surface of the earth, but ultimately what they're doing is digging down into this rock and then trying to extract these elements from within the rock. The problem is, as we do all of this, you're going to get all of this rock and material to be dug up, and then it needs to be exposed of, and a lot of times the machinery and then also just the digging and unearthing of all of this stuff can lead to really expensive and polluting situation for the environment. A gem, on the other hand, compared to an ore, is a mineral that is really valuable because it's rare and beautiful. So an ore has valuable elements. The gem itself is valuable because they're rare and because they're very durable, and they're usually 8s, 9s, and 10s on Mohs hardness scale, so they're really difficult to scratch. Examples are rubies, emeralds, and diamonds. And then oftentimes we will cut and polish these and then use it for jewelry. So this was a really short section, but you should know the two elements that make up Earth's crust, oxygen and silicon. You should be able to explain the different types of mineral groups, and you really only need to know these at a kind of basic level. You should know the difference between gems and ores, and then also understand the importance and kind of dangers of mining and how it is really costly, and then also it's really bad for the environment.